Hi everyone, so I'm going to be doing a quick review of yesterday, Wednesday's meeting, and today, Thursday's meeting. So yesterday and today I went over some basic hula steps and moves, and also the basic hula stance and hula arm placement. I also went over the schedule for next week and the following weeks concerning our dance lessons and Zoom meetings. So, for next week and the following weeks, I'm going to be holding official dance lessons via Zoom every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday after school. I'm going to be starting official practice next week on Monday after school around 12:30 till 1. Every dance practice that we have will be 30 minutes and no longer because I don't want everyone to be on Zoom all day because we all have school. Also, remember to pay attention to the group chat in case I change the schedule. And also remember you can always reach out to me via the group chat or personally on another chat if you have any concerns or if you can't make it. Please also know to at least try to make it at least once or twice out of the 3 times I'm holding meetings every week because I want to make sure that you guys are doing the dance correctly and that you guys memorize it and also that you can learn it better to see me do it and to explain it more better than the videos that I send you guys. Um, Also, I'm not requiring everyone to make it to every single meeting, but I also expect for you to at least make it once or twice, or at least to let me know if you can't make it. I'm very lenient on this because I know everyone has school and everyone has plans or other things that they're doing, but also it's only 30 minutes every meeting, so I hope you guys can make a little space in your plans for Monday through Friday for hula. I'm also almost done with the dance. So by Monday next week after school, I'm going to be having the dance done or almost done, but I'll also be teaching the beginning of the dances. So that is all. I'm going to be starting to teach you guys the basic hula moves and hula arm placement and hula stance. Give me a sec. Let me change this song. Okay, so I also taught just a couple moves for everyone, like the fa'arapu, the figure eight, the ami, the ka'o, kala, and the hela, and the arm placement and fa'arapu on the ground on your knees. So let's start off with the fa'arapu. I also explained earlier that if you don't have a skirt like this, it is all right. You don't really need it, but I think it would be better for you to have one like a scarf or a shawl for you to tie around your hips so it looks a bit better. And I'll also be asking the club's president if we can give out a couple skirts for girls who wants to have their own skirt. But remember, it's not required, but I think that by the time we record everyone doing the full dance, we're going to have costumes. So I'm hoping that we have it, but not to fret right now. I'll deal with it later on my own. So for fa'arapu, usually in Tahitian, it's very fast paced. You're moving very rapidly. But for hula, we're not gonna go too fast because we're gonna go very slow in this dance, but kind of faster than other hula dances you may have seen as performed before. So let's start with the fa'arapu. I'm also going to be teaching you guys the basic hula stance while I also teach you this. So remember also to have a full body mirror if you have one so that you can see whether or not you're doing everything right, doing the techniques correctly, and look very fluid in motion and not too stiff and shifty in the way you're moving your hips. So let's start with the basic hula stance. So for hula, you want to make sure that your knees are together, your posture is good, shoulders are rolled back, back is straight, you are not moving forward like so, you're not overexerting yourself too far back like so. Just good posture, knees together, feet on the ground. And we're going to do a slight plie, a bend in the knees, and hands can be on the hip with a slight fist like this. Not like this, but like this. And place it on the hips. This is how it should look like. Posture is good, knees and feet together, feet on the ground, and a slight bend of the knees while still maintaining a good posture, like so, on all sides. Okay? If you guys have already seen the video of the fa'arapu that I've already sent you, you've got a pretty good idea of what the fa'arapu should be like and how it should feel like. That's one of my favorite dancers, so hopefully you guys understood her a bit more than I've kind of told you guys. But if you haven't seen the video and you didn't make it to Wednesday or Thursday meeting, I'm going to be showing you guys how to do it. So remember, basic hula stance, but this is also a basic Tahitian dance. Stance, like so. And then you're gonna move it in a circle, moving hips up and down while your knees are also moving. So this is what my hips are looking like. And then my knees are moving back as well. So when my hip goes back, my right knee is bending and my left knee is out. Okay? Remember to maintain good posture. You're not moving too far back or front. Okay, obviously I don't know my directions. Ignore that. But this is how it should look like on all four sides. I'm going to show you right now. Maintaining good posture, bending the knees slightly in a plie. Usually Tahitian is very fast paced, as I told you before. This is what it would look like. But for hula, we're going slow, like this. Okay, if you're still struggling on learning how to do a fa'arapu, don't worry, practice on your own in a full body mirror to watch yourself. You can also learn it from me or watch videos on your own or ask me for videos as well. Next, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do the fa'arapu on the ground on your knees because in the dance, it'll require you to do so. Okay, so make sure you are on your knees, flat. Okay? So for this, I want you guys to have good posture. Okay? And to lift slightly off of the heel of your feet like this. Okay? Like so. And do a slight fa'arapu. Slow fa'arapu. If your knees can't handle lifting or raising off, you can just try to do the fa'arapu on your feet. Okay? This is how it should look like from behind. Knees and feet together. And do a slight raise off, keeping your posture good. And doing a slow fa'arapu. Make sure not to strain yourself when you're going like this. So you're going to lift slowly off. And do a slow, smooth fa'arapu. Okay? So that is all for the fa'arapu on the ground and regular fa'arapu. So next, I'm going to be teaching the hula arm placement. So I'm going to ask you guys to start off with your arms like this, straight. Everything is firm from the shoulder to the tip of your hand. And then try to relax your wrist moving it up and down. This is just to warm up your arm and make sure you guys can do it. So please move your arm to the side. As you guys can see, my arm is a bit straight right now, but I'm gonna ask you guys to move the inside of your elbow and slightly bend it like so. Okay? It's still kind of straight, but you still want it to be slightly bent on the inside of the elbow. You don't want it too low like this. You don't want it too straight like this. You want it slightly bent like so. And for hand placement, you can go like this, slight, or you can do like this. I prefer doing it this way, but you guys can just do a slight bend on the inside like this. Okay. For the the other arm, you want to have your arm placed in the middle of your chest, okay? You want to make sure that it is following your other arm, okay? You don't want it really low like this. You don't want it really high. You want it in the middle of your chest. You don't want it further out or too far back. Just nicely placed in the middle and placed on the same line as your other arm. You can do the same placement for the other hand, okay? Now I'm going to show you guys how to do a wave of the hand. Usually that goes along with this move. Like so. Moving only your wrists and your fingers. Okay? Like so. You don't want to go like this or moving your whole forearm. You want to move your wrist and slowly follow your wrist with your fingers. Okay? Same thing with this hand. It might be a little bit more difficult for those to only move the wrist and the hand only. So it's all right if you slightly move further down your wrist, but try to make sure that your whole arm is as stable as possible. Okay, so for the next move, I'm going to be showing you guys how to do the Hula. So let's start with the basic hula stance again. Knees and feet together with the feet placed down onto the ground. Posture is good and nice and straight. And hands on your waist. So for the Hula, you're going to be sticking out your feet, but then also bending your hip. Okay? You're going to be placing your feet out and placing the alternate hip outwards and the alternate knee slightly bent. For the feet, I want you guys to have it pointed like so. Okay? So this is how it should look like. Hands on hips, feet pointing out, and the alternate hip and knee move. Okay? I don't want you guys too stiff while you do it. So this is how it should look like. Let me lower it. This is how it should look like. Remember to keep your posture good. You can slightly move forward, but I don't want you guys to go really far out. Okay? Moving it. Remember to keep the alternate knee slightly bent so you can move as angled as possible. Angled as much as you can. English. Okay. Now that you guys have learned to do the Hula, make sure that your arms and your posture is correct and that your feet are pointed and that your toes are placed on the ground. Okay. The next move is called the Kala, which also means sun. So for the kala, I'm going to show you guys just how it's supposed to look like this. Your elbows are bent and your hands are above your head and in front of your head. You don't want it too high, you don't want it too low, you don't want it too far out, okay? For the kala that we're doing in our dance, it's a bit more different, but it's still going to be using the kala. So this is what the move involving the kala is going to be looking like. I'm going to show you guys once and then teach you guys step by step. So this is what the kala should look like. The kala, like so. So I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do the move that I just showed you, starting with the basic hula stance, but the arms are not going to be on your hip or placed in an X, like so, with the right arm in front. Your hand placement could be what I showed you earlier in the hula placement for arms and hands. You can either like this or like this, okay? And then we're gonna start with the right hip moving outwards, right here. And then we're gonna move it forward and up with the palms facing outward and the left hip protruding out. So I'm gonna show you guys one more time. So we're gonna start with the right. And then when you move your arms up and palms facing outward from you, your left hip should be out. Do it again. And then when you go out like this, it should alternate to the right. And then when you finish in the kala, your left knee should be out. So I'll show you again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, one more time. Starting with our arms placed in an X with the right hand and arm in the front and your palms facing to your sides. Okay, and your right hip moving outwards. Like this. And then once you move up, your arms slightly up to your face, should be blocking your eyesight kind of, and your palms facing outward from your face. Your left hip should be protruding out. And then you should be finishing with the kala arms and your left knee outward. Show you guys one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's watch my feet placement. Remember, knees are slightly bent. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now that is the kala and how we're going to be using it in our dance. Next up is the ami. This one can be quite difficult if your hips are not used to being used so much, but you guys should be able to get this pretty easily. So let's start with the basic hula stance. Okay, now that you guys are ready, remember, and then you're gonna move your hips in a circle. Try to move your hips as much as you can, as far out as you can. Try not to do very small like this. I want you guys to really exaggerate it, okay? I'll show you guys how the knees and feet are looking like while you guys are doing the ami. So, this is how it should be looking like. You can lift your heels if it helps you exaggerate your hips out as much as possible. Remember to keep your posture good, not to lean too forward, because then you're gonna fall forward, okay? This is how it looks like from behind. So when my left knee is out, my right heel is up. And then I place it back down when I'm moving my butt backwards. This is how it looks like from the left side. Okay. And that is the Ami. Okay, next up, I'm going to be teaching you guys the Ka'o, which is the swaying of the hips. So, basic hula stance again, hands on hips, knees and feet together while the feet are planted down onto the ground, and a slight plie. For the Ka'o, you're going to be swaying your hips while keeping your posture good and straight. So when my right hip is out, my alternate knee, the left knee, is protruding outwards further apart, but my right leg is still slightly bent, but not too far out, as you can see. Let's do it again. Again, if my left hip is out, my right knee is protruding further out, but my left knee is still slightly bent. Let's do it one more time. Okay, so that is all the moves. If you guys watched this video, you should have been learning how to do the fa'arapu, slow paced, and also fa'arapu on the ground. You also learned how to do the ami, the big circle. You should have learned how to do the ka'o, the swaying of the hips. You should have learned the hela, which is the feet pointing out and side to side. You guys should have learned the kala, the sun, arm placement, and how we're going to be using the kala in our dance. You guys should have learned the basic hula placement for arms, okay? And also the basic hula stance. If I forgot anything, please text me, especially if you're in one of the meetings and you remember I've also taught an additional thing, but I didn't include it in this video or in the group chat, please let me know. Remember, I'm going to be starting official dance meetings next Monday, next Wednesday, and Friday, and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of every week, and the following week until March 22nd, in which we need to learn the full choreography and do it well, and then send a video to ASB in which they're going to be showing from multicultural to the whole school. Okay, so that is all. Remember to practice as much as you can, especially on the fa'arapu and the ami in front of a full body mirror. Oh, I forgot. I also taught the figure eight. So figure eight's pretty easy. It might be a little bit hard, especially if you're kind of stiff. Sorry guys, I forgot that I taught the figure eight on Wednesday. So let's start with the basic hula stance, okay? And then you're going to be swaying your hips. You're basically drawing an 8 with your hips. So every time that my right hip is out, my left knee is protruding out at a slight angle to the left. Let's do it again. Remember to keep your posture good. You're doing basically dips with your hip and kind of moving it like this, okay? You see how it's drawing 2 circles, basically an 8. Your hips are just swaying like so. Remember, every time you're moving a hip, the alternate knee should be facing out at an angle. Remember, your posture should be good. Your hands on the hip. Okay, so that is officially all. I think Thank you, and see you guys officially on Monday for the dance.